Yo, what's good everybody, it's your girlfriend Trina here, and today I'm going to be learning South American metas in Geoguessr. Now, South America is probably the continent where I get the country wrong the most amount of times, especially when I'm playing no-move duels, which I've been playing a lot more of, especially since they released the turbo duels. I'm saying especially a lot. But anyways, I wanted to get better at identifying countries in no-move, so let's see how many metas I can learn, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, we're playing no-move, so we can zoom in. And what do we see? Black back of the sign, which I think means that we're in Brazil. We've got the double yellow middle, white bumpy front of the car. This grass, can we get a better region guess if we're even in Brazil, which I'm pretty sure we are because of that sign. Maybe we're in Tocantins grass ever. Oh shoot, okay. Well, not the meta I was expecting, but we got the right country nonetheless, and even a decent-ish region guess. So these were Brazil curbs, so there are frequently white-painted curbs on Brazilian roads. Okay, so a curb like that. Okay. And we're in Goiás, so not too far. Okay, so in the distance, under the sign, I can see black and white stripes, which is Peru. So I think we're definitely in Peru because of that. Particularly, yeah, and we see another one behind us. Cool. When I have a lot of information in rounds, especially in South America, like something like this, I could probably like easily identify the country, the region not so much. But like a lot of the rounds where maybe it's just more like the landscape or something, that's where I have more trouble. So we'll see if we learn any like landscape metas too today for just like South America in general. So we're gonna go in Peru, and with like the red rocky mountains around us, maybe I want to go further south. I'll go near Espinar. Okay, that was a pretty good region guess. So not the meta that I identified like with the black and white stripes, but a additional meta which would help me to combine like and solidify my like choice of it being Peru. So concrete blocks. Peruvian metal signposts feature concrete blocks at the bottom. Note that within South America, Peru is the only country to do so. Okay, concrete blocks, Peru. We have a bollard here, lots of bollards, which kind of low-key look like the Turkey / like Australia bollards ever, but obviously it's a South America only map, so not that. I actually don't know what country this bollard is for. Like, I'm kind of blanking on it. Is this concrete ever telling me Brazil? Nope. Actually, I think this is telling me Peru with a sign in the back. So I don't know because of the bollard. The bollard is actually kind of throwing me off here, but I do see black and white stripes under these signs. So we are going to go in Peru, and it is not as red and rocky. So we'll go a little bit further north, maybe near Huancayo. Okay, this was a Peruvian bollard. So good to refresh our memory on a Peruvian bollard here, because I didn't identify it at first. I only got it because of the black and white sign again. So bollards in Peru are painted red or yellow, and the country mainly uses a variety of triangular shaped concrete bollards. Okay, triangular, that's kind of unique. Occasionally you will also spot other designs such as the circular concrete variants. Okay, triangle, Peru, and we got a pretty good region guess, 4.1, we'll take that. This is a different gen of coverage, I think, or is it just rainy? It could just be rainy. I think that might be an Ecuadorian bollard, maybe. I don't know the pull tops, I don't recognize it. A little bit rainy. I guess I'll go in Ecuador because of this like stick in the ground, but I'm not sure here. I don't really see any like other metas. I know like, you know, color cross or whatever I'm looking for, or road lines or anything like that. So I'm gonna guess this is an Ecuador bollard. Okay, cool. I did remember it was Ecuador shit cam. Google used a weird low quality camera in Ecuador. So it has a wide circular car blur and often somewhat brownish colors. Within Latin America, Ecuador is the only country that has shit cam coverage. Okay. Good to know that. Okay, so we have maybe potentially the flag outside that building, but I'm gonna guess that's probably not the meta here because I feel like most people know their flags. And if there's one visible, obviously it's gonna help me determine the country. I think this is an Argentinian pole is probably the meta it wants me to guess here. I mean, there might be more than one, but just kind of like with like the bands around it. That is my guess. Is there anything I think could be the meta here also? Nothing that's as obvious. Maybe the blue sign that's here. But I'm gonna go with Argentina. I'll go near Cordoba. Okay, it was an Argentina license plate meta. So I didn't even look at the license plates. So good reminder to check the license plates to help me determine where I am, especially no move if there are any visible. So Argentina uses two types of license plates. So a black one, which will be visible in street view with a black dot in the middle, which is probably the one I see the most often in Argentina. And then a white one with a blue bar at the top. Note that the black dot can only be found in Argentinian license plates, while the blue bar can also be found in Brazil. Okay. ETK, not bad for the first round. Let's keep going and keep learning. Okay. Different gen. Or is it just rainy? Overcast. Overcast is Uruguay. Not Uruguay. Okay. I was too quick to think there. So in Gen 3 coverage, a short, thick antenna is sometimes visible with a black, white, or gray car. Within the Americas, you can also find the antenna in Mexico, Ecuador, and Brazil, which is a lot of different countries, so can't just see the antenna and assume which country you're in, okay. We are near some mountains, cool. Let's look for the metas. So black back of the car, I think, although it's kind of hard to tell because of the shadow. Coming from the hill. What are the poles saying? There's like red and white on the poles, which is an interesting color combo. Double yellow middle. We do have an orange blurred plate, which we just like learned before, like relearned, which is like white with a black dot in the middle. So I'm gonna go orange here. Where do I want to go in orange? Is this feeling like further south, maybe like Chubut province? Okay, so technically we were in the right province and we were, of course, in the right country. We were in the Chubut province, a little bit closer to Comodoro Rivadavia, and the meta was the license plate, which I correctly identified before, with the white rectangle and a black blur in the middle. Okay. Okay, we have our black and white strip sign, so pretty sure this is Peru. We got white outer. Ooh, okay, the meta here might be this guardrail, like, stripe pattern, so I think that Peru and Bolivia both have a similar stripe pattern, but Bolivia has yellow on the outside stripe and Peru has black on the outside stripe, so my guess is this is going to be the meta, or these stripes on the sign in the back that we can see. So let's go in Peru. We'll go a little bit further, closer to, like, mountains and forests and stuff, so maybe, like, we'll go in here near Satipo. Okay, not horrible. I didn't even see the concrete blocks there. I guess I wasn't looking for it. But I think the other two metas that I mentioned, like the tape on the guardrail and the black and white stripes, also good Peru clues. So Peruvian metal signposts feature concrete blocks at the bottom. Okay. Concrete blocks. Okay, black and white stripes. And we have these like black, yellow, black stripes on the, not guardrails, I guess these are just like concrete like blocks blocking you from like rolling off the side of the road. Blocking you, the blocks are blocking you. A lot of brick around. Okay, so maybe I'm thinking more southern Peru. But I think Peru for sure because of this and this here. So let's go in. Maybe I'll go near Quillabamba. Okay, a little bit further north, but the right country nonetheless. So this was the striped guardrail meta. Okay, so black and yellow stripes and guardrails are seen throughout the country. You might sometimes find different designs, such as the sharp arrow design. Similar striped guardrails are also found in Bolivia. To differentiate them, just have a look at the outer stripe. Okay, Peru uses a black one, while Bolivia features a yellow one. We are, okay, I think this one is finally Uruguay. I think before when I thought it was Uruguay, it was also maybe Gen 3 coverage. I'm like starting to slowly learn my gens, like identifying them, but like I'm not good at like knowing which countries I exclusively have each gen yet. So that is a work in progress, but it is in progress nonetheless. Okay, we have these thick white posts on the signs, and we kind of have like the overcastness and the yellow and white lines in the middle, which is telling me Uruguay. So I think the combination of these three things, like the signposts, the road lines, and the overcastness, is telling me Uruguay. I don't know which meta it'll show, or maybe if it's even a fourth one that I'm missing. But let us just plonk it in the middle. Okay, cool. It was Uruguay. So the meta it's showing is the Uruguay road lines. So Uruguay often has these triple road lines, which I don't think we saw triple, but we definitely saw like white and yellow together. So sometimes it has the double yellow road lines with white dashes between, and this is a design not seen anywhere else in the Americas. You can also find two other non-unique road line patterns, yellow white lines, also found in Argentina, and simple white lines found in many other places. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I felt like I said that weird, so that's why I repeated it. We are... Okay, I feel like these like electrical boxes is probably the meta here, but why do I not know it off the top of my head? I think it's Brazil, and this is the Brazil flag. Okay, so I'm only sure it's Brazil here now because I see the flag, but I think the meta is probably going to be something to do with like one of these like electrical things here, or maybe it's like the roofing pattern. I don't know. It could be this like metal basket that's outside the house. And do we have an area code? I mean, it starts with a 99, but I think that's the general thing. Does it say 82 over here? It could. Oh, and this is a Brazil pole. Okay, now I see it. Like, I didn't see it before because it was, like, covered in the wires. It wasn't, like, the first thing I noticed, but we got the Brazil flag, which is not going to be the meta, probably. It's probably going to be this electricity thing is my guess. And we have the pole as well, so if I'm assuming that's an 82 area code, which is... me just like, I mean, it's like very blurry, so I'm not entirely sure. I'll go here. Okay, not horrible because I got the right country, but horrible in terms of region guessing. So I guess it wasn't an 82 area code, but I couldn't really read it, so that's okay. Brazil license plates, so license plates in Brazil were white until 2018. Now a white plate with a blue stripe on the top is used, and red is still used for commercial vehicles. Okay. Black back of the car. Kind of cloudy. I think it's Gen 3. Is this Uruguay ever? I don't think so. I mean, everything that's not the weather is kind of not screaming Uruguay. I feel like it might be Colo for some reason. Okay, it was just Uruguay. I should have just went with my first instinct. Uruguay landscape. So this is a stereotypical Uruguay round. And this is like what I was saying before about misidentifying the countries without like, you know, the stripes under the signpost visible, or maybe like bollards or something like that. Not as good as at that. So definitely good to learn this landscape meta. So this is a stereotypical Uruguay round. The coverage often, but not always, features overcast weather. Most of the landscape consists of open grassland with gentle hills. Occasionally, you might see separated tree plantations, and roads are generally in worse condition than in neighboring countries. Okay. This is a wide road, white outer, yellow dash middle. We've got some mountains. We've got the truck, of course, in front. A car. Ooh, interesting, like, saturation pattern right here. Very, like, flat, like, land. Like, I can almost see, like, very tiny hills, but I can see so far. I don't know what it's trying to tell me here in terms of meta. Like, I actually don't see any, like, you know, maybe it's like the white back of the cars meta. I don't know what this plant is though. They kind of look like fuzzy little like Christmas trees, but I don't think they're trees. I think they're like tufts of grass or something. Yellow road lines though. Yellow dash middle. Maybe I'll go near in Chile. I'll go near Puyuhuapi. It was Bolivia. Okay. Bolivia is probably the country that I don't recognize off the start the most, I think, out of all the countries in South America. So good to know this concrete road meta. Bolivia has a lot of standard asphalt roads, but concrete slab roads are also fairly common. Okay. Concrete slab roads. We are like zoomed into the sign with the black and white stripes, so I'm thinking Peru, and that's probably the meta it wants us to learn. It might be a pole top meta. Maybe it's like a type of pole. But we have a lot of these black and white stripe signs, so gonna say Peru. Black back of the sign is, yes, a Brazil thing, but not, I think, in combination with the stripe thing. So let's plonk it in Mazamari. Okay, a lot further north, but the right country. So it was the striped signpost meta. Okay, we have cacti. We have the pole, long white middle. Back of the sign. So no thick white signposts, no black back of the sign, no colo cross. So we can kind of eliminate colo in Brazil here and Uruguay. I think this is Chile. Maybe? Actually, no, wait, hold on. Black and yellow stripes under the pole. Why do I not know? You know what? I'll learn it now. And maybe it's like Bolivia. We'll go with Bolivia. Nope, it was Chile. Okay, I should have seconded Chile. I feel like the 50-50, I mean, it's fine. I'd rather like get it wrong in a single player map than in a duel. So good to re-review this. Chile poles. Chile uses square concrete poles with an indent on both sides. They're somewhat similar to Brazilian poles, however, have fewer horizontal supports in the indent. The upper part typically has small pinholes. Wooden poles are also fairly common. Okay. Alright, not a great score for that round, so I am gonna keep going and hopefully get a better score overall and get the right country more times. Okay, so immediately I'm thinking Brazil, and why I know that or think that is because of the signpost here, and it says BR-135. So often in Brazil, it's gonna, like a lot of the route markers are gonna have like a 2-letter like combination along with like some numbers. So if we see the map at this zoom level, we can see kind of like all the different areas like RS, SC, SP, stuff like that. But if it's BR, I think that's just like the general like Brazil like abbreviation. But sometimes if you're lucky, you'll find a sign and it has like one of these like 2-letter codes, so good thing to look out for. So we are going to go in Brazil, because it doesn't have a state specific thing. I'll go into cantons again. Okay, we were actually in Bahia, but not too far. So Brazil, blue road markers. So blue road markers with a road number and kilometer can be seen on the sides of roads. Okay. This is a concrete road. This is a white signpost. Is it the thick white signpost? I don't think it feels like Uruguay, no. I think the concrete... Oh, there's actually like a faded double yellow middle, which I did not notice at first. Some red dirt. Maybe this feels like Bolivia? I'm like unsure here, but I'll go here. Okay, cool. It was Bolivia, so this was a red rock meta. So if you have a tough 50-50, it can help to look at the color of the rocks and soil, which often have a distinct reddish tint in Bolivia, more so than other Andean countries. So this information should be used with a fair amount of caution as there are many variables. Okay. White outer. Ooh, okay. So because of the stripes in the guardrail, I know it's Peru, because if it was the yellow outer stripe, it would be Bolivia. And then I think we actually had this exact location before. Also the concrete blocks, which I'm now noticing for the first time, and correctly identifying. Okay, so stripes, concrete blocks, we're gonna go Peru. Don't remember where it was exactly. I think somewhere up north. Okay, nope, it was somewhere further south, but still the right country. So it was the concrete block meta again, because we had that in a repeat location. Low-key a little bit of like a hexagonal or an octagonal pole here. We do have stripes on it, black and yellow. Yellow license plates a lot, so we're thinking Colo here. Okay. Yeah, there's a ton of yellow plates, so I'm definitely thinking Colo. We could be in a different country, but I think the abundance of the yellow plates is screaming Colo to me. So we'll go in Sincelejo. Okay, not bad. We actually were in Colombia. Colombian license plates are typically yellow. Within South America, yellow license plates are almost exclusively found in Colombia. Okay. I think these are the Uruguay middle lines, no? Like the yellow and white together. And then a landscape I think matches up and it's a little bit overcast, so I will go in Uruguay. Okay, nope, this was Argentina, so I was a little bit too quick there again, but that's what the learning is for. So Argentina road lines in Argentina are mainly dash white, double yellow, or a mix in between. Okay. I don't know why I keep mixing up the Uruguay and Argentina road lines. Okay, we got 16.6k, which is a better score than our last round. I'm going to play this map one more time and see how many more metas I can learn, or if I can solidify the ones that I've like relearned today and get better at my no move skills in South America. Okay, so this is telling me Peru again, which I've gotten, I swear this like posts like a million times in this map, but we're really solidifying that knowledge of the black and white stripes under signposts in Peru. Can I get a region of Peru guess with the like rocky kind of like hills and stuff I see? I think this is going to be like closer to Bolivia borders, my guess, so I'll go near Ananea. Okay, it was a little bit further like north. So these were Peruvian bollard meadows, which I didn't even look at the bollards Lowkey because I was so sure because of the striped sign, but good to refresh my knowledge of the Peru bollard. So the triangular bollards in Peru. Okay. This is a bollard with red and white stripes on it, or like red and gray stripes, I guess you could call it. I think because of the quality of the camera, this is Ecuador, like combined with like the bollard. So I think bollard plus the lower quality cam makes me think here. Okay, cool. It was an Ecuador bollard. So there are two main types of bollards. A round bollard with two red stripes, and then there's a flat bollard with two red reflectors on the back. So maybe it just like faded out like the red into like the gray/white color. Note, many other bollards can be found. However, they will almost always have the same color scheme and style. Okay. We are on a road that is concrete and we are near brick houses. Okay, a little bit rainy, a little bit cloudy above. I want to say it's Bolivia because of the concrete. So let's go with my first instinct here. Okay, cool. It was the Bolivia concrete road meta. So Bolivia has a lot of standard asphalt roads, but concrete slab roads are also fairly common. Okay, and we got 4.2, which we'll definitely take. I think this is a Brazil sign, maybe with like the black kind of like russet color in the back, but let me double make sure. White outer, yellow middle, kind of reddish dirt, okay. And the pole does look like a Brazil pole. So I think we're just gonna go in Brazil here. I'll go like Mato Grosso do Sul this time. Okay, we're a little bit further north, but that is okay because we still got the right country. Brazil black sign. So most Brazilian road signs have the backs of the signs painted black. Okay. And last but not least, we have a round where we are in a city. License plates, there's not really anything like jumping out at me. They kind of just look like blurred white. I don't see like the yellow Colombia plates. I don't see like the black dots for Argentina. It does look like maybe it's Gen 3, I'm guessing. So I think that combined with the lack of like Argentina plates, or maybe lack of like, you know, Colombia plates or something like that, I'm gonna guess Uruguay here. Although it does feel, is it Ecuador ever? I think it's too hilly or too mountainous to be Uruguay, right? I think it's Ecuador. Okay, Good thing I revised it in the end to Ecuador, but I think this is like a new meta. So new information for this last meta of the map. So Ecuador license plates. So the standard license plates are white and can be short or long. In street view, you will often see a mix of both sizes. Commercial vehicles such as taxis or buses can have an older solid orange plate or newer ones with an orange bar at the top. Ecuador is the only country in Latin America to use a mix of short and long license plates. Okay, and here's an example of the short and long license plates here, and then with the orange stripe or the orange solid color. Okay. All right, well, 14.9K, not bad. We definitely refreshed on a lot of metas that I knew about South America already, and I also like learned a bunch of new ones, like this Ecuador license plate one, and the Bolivia Conquer Road, which I don't think I explicitly knew before, or maybe like I kind of registered, but not like consciously. So good to review those and learn some new ones. So that is gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video of me learning South American metas in Geoguessr. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. I'll have the map linked in the description if you want to try it out yourself. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla, and have a great day!